So finally, it happened. Yesterday, we saw the much anticipated meeting between President Ramaphosa and President Donald Trump. And guys, after this meeting, I actually went on social media to try to see how people are feeling about this encounter that just took place on national television. I must say that it was quite interesting to see the debates that people were having on social media, especially the debate about the image of President Ramaphosa. On one side, you would have the people saying that we told Ramaphosa not to go to Washington because Donald Trump was going to embarrass him. The plan of the Trump administration was to embarrass Ramaphosa and was to humiliate Ramaphosa. And this is exactly what they did. They humiliated President Ramaphosa. But on the other side, you have the people that are saying, but guys, let's be honest. President Ramaphosa said there, he did not even lose his temper. President Ramaphosa, him and his team were quite diplomatic. And to say that he was embarrassed by Donald Trump, it is an overreach. So I'm on the side of the people that are saying that President Ramaphosa was not embarrassed in White House. He was not embarrassed. He was not humiliated in the White House. And I saw some people actually saying that it was an ambush. It was not an ambush. It was not an ambush. President Ramaphosa was actually forced to speak about the issues that him and his party, the ANC, have ignored for such a long time. This is what happened. President Donald Trump actually forced Ramaphosa to address the issues that normally President Ramaphosa would not address in this country, knowing very well that they are burning issues. And again, guys, I don't know if it is me or what, but I felt like President Trump was working back on some of the positions that he has actually taken. Because normally when President Donald Trump speaks about bad things, he was explicit about bad things are happening in South Africa. But yesterday, he kept saying that bad things are happening in Africa. And did you see how he actually responded to the South African case against Israel, that International Court of Justice? This is one of the issues that I personally thought that it was going to be a big issue. I thought that Ramaphosa was going to be confronted head on about this topic of taking Israel to the International Court of Justice. But Donald Trump just said there and said that, guys, we will see what the ruling will actually say. We will see what the ruling will actually say. And it was quite shocking for me because I know how the Americans feel about Israel. I know that these people have actually stood with Israel throughout and throughout. And for Donald Trump to not even entertain that question of South Africa taking Israel to the International Court of Justice, I thought that it was quite shocking to see. Maybe they did discuss it behind the scenes, but I thought that he was going to come out in the public to say that I don't appreciate South Africa taking Israel to the International Court of Justice. This is what I thought would actually happen, but it did not happen. So going back to the ambush, President Ramaphosa was not ambushed in the White House. He was forced to speak about the issues that he ignored for a long time. I mean, like the issues of the Afrikaners being killed in this country. You know, guys, there's one thing that I honestly do not understand. In this country, especially black people in this country, they actually get pissed off when the Afrikaners are saying that we are being killed in South Africa. We are being killed in South Africa. And normally, you would hear the people saying that it is not only you guys that are being killed. We are also being killed as black people. The colors are also being killed as the colors. But it looks like right now, at this point, the Afrikaners are the ones that are concerned about their people actually being killed. Because black people, it seems like we are not even putting a fight with the fact that many black people are being slaughtered in the streets of this country. And people are willing to accept that we have a crime issue in this country. We have a crime issue in this country, so it is okay for the criminals to go around slaughtering our people. And we are not even going to raise that with the government. We are not even going to try to hold the government for that. But the same people that are actually okay with the fact that their people are being killed in the streets, they don't want other people to raise concern when their own people are being killed in the streets of South Africa. This is the logic that I'm honestly baffled by. I do not understand. Because if there's one thing, we should have actually joined the Afrikaners to say that the killings that are happening in South Africa are not acceptable. We, as the people of this country, we cannot actually accept to have a government that is ignorant of the killings that are happening in the country, the government that is not paying attention to the number of people that are being killed in this country. Instead of saying that the Afrikaners are trying to look special, the Afrikaners are going around the world saying that they are being slaughtered in this country. Because if you take a step back and actually watch the whole thing, you can see that the Afrikaners, they actually care about their people. They care about the fact that there are people in this country that are being slaughtered. Afrikaners are being slaughtered in this country. But what do we say as black people? We say that no, we just have a crime issue in this country. And does it make it okay? The fact that many black people are being killed in this country, and the South African people, majority of them happen to be black people, are not saying anything about the fact that the people are being slaughtered. Just look in Cape Town. You remember that even yesterday, Mr. Rupert, one of the issues that he raised is that the colors are being slaughtered in the Western Cape. The colors are being slaughtered in the Western Cape. But if you look at the number of the colored people that are willing to come out to say that, guys, this is unacceptable. Look at that number. Look at the number of the Afrikaners. Look at the number of black people. And tell me, which group is actually concerned about the fact that the people are being killed in this country? So I find it quite strange that we as black people, we are okay with the fact that we are being killed in this country, and we don't want other people to say anything about the fact that they are being killed too. And we are willing to say that it is just a crime issue. All of us are impacted by this crime that is happening in the country. And you guys are not special because we see that you are trying to hold the government accountable. Please do not try to hold the government accountable because all of us are being killed. This actually shows you how divided we are as the people of this country. It actually shows you how divided we are. Because if we were unified as the people of this country, all of us would actually come together to say that we cannot accept the killings that are happening in this country. White people are being killed in numbers in this country. Afrikaners are being killed in numbers in this country. Black people are being killed in numbers in this country. Indians are being killed in numbers in this country. Colors are being killed in numbers in this country. All of these groups are being killed in numbers. But the one group that is willing to fight for their people's safety, it is the Afrikaners. But somehow, we think that it is unacceptable for these people to go around and screaming that we don't want to be killed in this country. It shows you how divided we are as the people of this country. We have actually allowed the politicians to divide this country to a point where we would accept being killed as long as we condemn other people for raising their voices for being killed. This is how much we have actually allowed the politicians to destroy us, to divide us in this country, divide and conquer. This is the result of that. This is the result of that. When you go on social media, you will find many people that are saying that, no, guys, why are the Afrikaners going to the United States saying that they are being killed in this country? The Afrikaners, they have no reason to be scared of South Africa because all of us are being killed. So what actually makes the Afrikaners special? And to the point where they would go to the United States saying that they are being killed in this country. The Afrikaners, they care about their people. And the Afrikaners, it is clear as day that every single life, it matters to them. What about us? What about us? What about us as black people? Do we care about the fact that black people are being killed? What have we done as black people about the fact that a lot of people are being slaughtered in the streets? And what is more painful is that the families of these people that are being killed, they cannot even find justice. The families of the people that are raped in the streets, of the women that are being harassed, the women that are being abducted, the children that are being killed are not finding justice. And we are saying nothing. But we think somehow we have the moral high ground to stand there and condemn the Afrikaners for being concerned about the killings that is happening in this country. I cannot believe, man, we have actually allowed the politicians and the comrades to do us like this. I actually cannot believe that this is where we are as the country today. This is literally where we are as the country today. And Thomas, please, man, don't say it over and over again. My grandmother told me, repetition is the father of learners. I want to say it until it actually registers in your mind that as black people, we are sitting here. We have accepted that we're going to be killed by the criminals. And we don't want other people, we don't want other races to actually say something when their people are being killed by the criminals. So I don't know why some people think that it is okay to try to say that all of us are being killed. Some politicians, no, guys. All of us are being killed. As if when you say that all of us are being killed, it is acceptable. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. What have we done to raise our voices as black people about the number of people that are being found in the streets killed? What have we done as black people about the drugs that is killing the children in our communities? What have we done as black people about the taverns that are occupying every corner in the townships? What have we done about the habits that children are being introduced to, and these habits are literally killing them? Is there anything that we as black people can actually say? This is what we have done about the killing that is happening in our communities. Instead of condemning the Afrikaners for standing up and saying that we are sick and tired of people being killed, we are sick and tired of the Afrikaners being killed, and we're going to go out and we're going to look for help. We're going to shout on top of our lungs and let everybody know that the Afrikaners are being killed in this country. We as black people, what have we done? What have we done? What have we done? Because at this point, it seems like we have actually accepted that it is what it is. And everybody in this country needs to accept that they will be killed or their family members will be killed. And you do not have the right. You do not have the right to go out and tell other people outside in the world that your people are being killed. We have to accept that we have an inept, incompetent government that is allowing the people in this country to be killed. We have an inept and incompetent government that is appointing the politicians in the positions of power, the same politicians that are totally incompetent. This is what we have to accept. Is this what we are saying as black people, that we have to accept that the killings are happening in this country and there is nothing that we can do? And anybody who tries to complain, don't think that we are special. It is a mess. I do not understand at all. I do not understand it. Because we were supposed to look into ourselves as black people to say that if the Afrikaners are so bold to go out and look for help, maybe there's something that we need to do as black people too about the number of people that are being killed in our communities. But no, we are not saying anything about that. We are focused on the people that are actually looking out for their own people. It is sad. It is sad. And going into the debate that we are about to see right now, the debate about kill the bull, kill the farm. We told these people that kill the bull, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. I don't care what the courts are saying. Kill the bull, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. And if you say that kill the bull, kill the farmer, it is not hate speech because the Constitutional Court, it protects us under freedom of speech, allow the same Constitutional Court to say, to allow the Afrikaners to say that they kill the dagi, kill the Kafirs. To prove that kill the bull, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. The same people that are defending kill the bull, kill the farmer, they would actually lose their minds if the Afrikaners would go out and start to chant, kill the darkies, kill the black people, kill the Kafirs, they will lose their minds. If the Afrikaners would go out and say, kill the darkies, kill black people, they will totally lose their minds. And they will say that this is hate speech. This is unacceptable. How can these Afrikaners go out in their groups and actually chant, kill black people? But somehow it is okay for black people to fill up the stadiums to chant, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. Make it make sense. Kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. It is hate speech. And last time, when we spoke about this issue of kill the Boer, kill the farmer, I did say that sometimes maybe the people that are living this country, they are not living the country because of Julius Malema and his silly political party chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer. Sometimes these people, they are leaving the country because their children are scared of what they see. Do you think that young Afrikaner children, how do you think they feel when they see a leader of a big political party in this country chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer? Do you think that the children of those people, they actually feel good about the fact that there is a leader of a huge political party that is chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer? Sometimes these people leave because their children are not feeling safe. They are leaving because their children are saying, Mom, Dad, I saw a video going around on social media, and there is a leader of this political party that is going around and saying, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. And these people, they filled up a stadium, 100,000 people, and even outside, chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer. When are these people going to come and start killing us? This is the reason why some of the people are leaving the country, because their families are not feeling safe. And you cannot tell me that you're gonna sit down a 12-year-old child and say that, sit here and understand that the constitutional court in this country have actually protected these people from saying kill the Boer, kill the farmer as freedom of speech. So these people are chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer, but they do not actually mean that they are going to kill you. Do you expect a child to understand when you tell them that these people are chanting about killing you, killing your mama, killing your papa, but they are not actually going to kill you? And Ramaphosa in the White House, he tried to distance himself from Julius Malema and the EFF, chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer. Why did Ramaphosa try to distance himself from EFF, chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer? It's because deep down in his heart, he knows that kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. But them, as the government, they have actually failed to contain this nonsense. They have failed to contain the EFF and Malema from chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer. But now, Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday was trying to say, no. Some of these people and what they are doing, it has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. Cyril Ramaphosa basically admitted that kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. This is what he had admitted.
And you know, the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march, they had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
But let me clarify that.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases...
So Cyril Ramaphosa speaks about people expressing themselves. So I guess the question should have been from the media. I mean, sometimes this is why I think the media is lazy. I'm one of those people who actually believes that the media is lazy. Because if people are expressing themselves, like Ramaphosa says, the question that should have actually followed is, if maybe, let's say, Freedom Fund Plus would go out and chant, kill black people, kill the darkies, how would you feel as the president of the country? Because you have a multi-party democracy in the country where people are allowed to express themselves. How would you feel if a so-called white political party would chant kill the bull, kill the donkey, and kill black people? Would you accept that as the president of the country? This is a question that would have actually exposed the hypocrisy of these people. It would have actually exposed the hypocrisy of these people. But the media just sat there and didn't even think about this.
In South Africa, that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
and then
take
when
land.
they take the land.
Ramaphosa, don't say nobody can take land, because 2 days ago, guys, I'm sorry, man, I'm using my cell phone as a camera. I wanted to actually pull out that clip of the EFF. 2 days ago, the Secretary General of the EFF said that when people see empty land, they must occupy that land. Irregardless of, I don't know if there's a word that is called irregardless. People must occupy that empty land. This is a directive that was given to the supporters of the EFF by the Secretary General of the EFF. So I feel like at this point, this thing of trying to say that, no, we are not going to seize the land, they are not seizing the land. But it is happening. They are telling their supporters, like, guys, there is a video of that. Please, somebody, please pin that video in the comment section. There is a video of the Secretary General of the EFF telling those people to go and occupy the land. Julius Malema was telling the supporters of the EFF that we need to find the properties of the people that have left this country, those 49 Afrikaners, and occupy that land. They are giving their millions and millions of supporters directives to say, guys, go into those lands and occupy those lands. Go into those lands and occupy those lands. This is what happens when you have a government that is actually failing to put a foot down. This is what happens. Because I wonder, as the president of the country, how does Ramaphosa feel? Sitting in the White House and defending Julius Malema for something that he could have dealt with a long time ago. If you watched this whole meeting between President Trump and President Ramaphosa, most of the issues that were actually discussed in this meeting are the issues that could have been resolved a long time ago. But the ANC and Ramaphosa, they have ignored these issues. And now, the president of the country finds himself in White House defending something that was said by the leader of the opposition party. How do you feel knowing that this is something that you could have dealt with a long time ago? You are not saying anything when these people are taking microphones and standing in front of thousands and thousands of their supporters, telling them to occupy the land by force, telling them to find the farms of some of the people maybe that have left and occupy those farms by force. You are not doing anything. You are not condemning those people. You are not actually showing these people that, guys, there is something that is called the rule of law, and you cannot go around telling the people to occupy the lands that do not belong to them. Now he's in White House defending himself for the mess that Julius Malema has actually put him in. And I know right now, Julius Malema and the EFF, they are feeling quite ecstatic. And for Julius Malema, I actually understand why he's feeling ecstatic. I mean, like, just imagine as a leader of an opposition political party, you are being mentioned in one of the biggest meetings for 2025. They are playing your clips in one of those meetings. Of course, Julius Malema would feel like, okay, now I am Julius Malema. I am him. Nobody can tell me anything. Even Donald Trump knows me. I don't think Donald Trump knows the deputy president of this country, but Donald Trump knows who Julius Malema is. So for him, I understand. It actually rubbed his ego. He's feeling good. But at the same time, he is a liability that continuously puts this country in a bad place. What he does in the EFF is putting South Africa in a bad light. And you have the government that is failing to deal with that. And the government of this country, they will continue to defend themselves for the nonsense that Julius Malema is doing. They will continue to do that. And honestly, I do not expect the supporters of the EFF to truly understand what this thing is actually doing to the image of this country. Because to them, everything is entertainment. Julius Malema was mentioned in this big meeting. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Jesus Christ, Julius Malema was mentioned in this meeting. To them, everything is entertainment. Everything, it is entertainment. But when you are a mature South African, you can actually see that this is actually putting us in a bad light. So how does Ramaphosa feel? How does he feel? Because if you're going to go around, going back to the issue of the Afrikaners, if you're going to go around and saying that we have a crime issue, what have you done about the people that are being slaughtered in this country? Why didn't the media ask Cyril Ramaphosa in front of President Donald Trump, what have you done about the people that are being killed in your country? What steps have you actually taken as the government to try to combat this nonsense? What have you done? What have you done as the president of the country? Because every day we know 80 people that are reported are being killed in this country. And if you think about the number of the people that are not being reported, maybe let's say the number is like what, 110, 150 people that are being killed in this country every day. What have you done as the president of the country? That is the question that Ramaphosa should have been forced to answer. And the media is sleeping. They are sleeping. They are in their beds, sleeping.
And they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is quite...
Nothing happens to
There
them.
is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white.
But it does not make it acceptable. It does not make it acceptable, the fact that not only Afrikaners are being killed in this country. It does not make it acceptable. It does not make it acceptable.
In our country, people who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white. Majority of them are black people. And we have now...
The farmers are black. The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And, you know, I mean, we're here to talk about it, and I didn't know we'd get involved here. But I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is fake news, totally, one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay, the United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force, so they could help us out, because we need an Air Force One until that's Air Force One, it's being built. 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I mean, like, to me, guys, I don't want to lie. The thing that actually pissed me off is that the president tried to explain to President Trump that not only black people are being killed in this country. Not only not only the Afrikaners are being killed in this country, as if it makes it acceptable. He is not sitting there as the president of the country to say that we understand that there are killings that are happening in the country. We understand that the Afrikaners are deeply worried about their people being slaughtered. We understand that the people in South Africa, they are living in paranoia. You don't know if your family member goes out to go to the mall, if they will make it back. This is how bad the situation is. And as the government, this is what we have done, or this is what we are working on to prevent the people of this country from being killed. As the government, we are working with the Afrikaner leaders. We are working with the chiefs in the rural areas. We are working with the community leaders from the townships. We are working with everybody, and this is what we are doing. This is what we are doing to stop the killings that are happening in the country. But no, not only the Afrikaners are being killed. No, not only the Afrikaners are being killed. That's why I'm saying the question should have been, what have you done? Or what are you doing? What have you done? Or what are you doing? So there's a lady again in this meeting that actually caught other people's attention. And this lady came with President Ramaphosa. And I don't know, for some reason, people were actually quite impressed with this trade union lady.
President Trump, I brought along the president of the largest trade union in our country, Ziggy Solosi, because she leads many, many workers, more than 1 million, 2 million workers. And maybe we should give her a chance to say something, because she's come all the way to join us.
Thank you very much, Mr. President Trump, for having us, and President, for extending the invitation to us as organized labor. And I must say that we are here to support the initiative that has been made by our government with business, of course, as organized labor. We've been coming to Washington on the AGOA trade relations in the previous regime. And I think at the center of it all, for me, it is exactly what Mr. Rupert has said, the importance of us growing the economy. We have always emphasized when we were here and kept on coming and negotiating on AGOA that the 600 US companies that are based in South Africa, as you said, President Ramaphosa, 500,000 jobs will be wiped out. We need more foreign direct investment in our country.
They are talking about growing the economy in the White House. They are talking about growing the economy in the White House. And unfortunately, I don't know how the Americans feel about the delegation of this country going there to talk about growing the economy, when it is so clear that the ANC does not want the economy of this country to grow. And it is easy to figure out why. When you don't have the growing economy, you have a lot of people that are depending on the government. And if you have a lot of people that are depending on the goodness of the government, then those people can be translated into voters. And many people that have depended on the government for the grants and so on, as soon as they find employment, they start to see the government for exactly what they are. When people find employment, they start to see the ANC for exactly what it is. So it is a joke for these people to sit there and to say that we want to grow the economy. They don't want to grow the economy. They do not want to grow the economy because their whole staying in power depends on the people, depending on the government. Their whole thing, it depends on the people, depending on the government. As long as we have millions of people depending on the government, then these people are going to vote for us. You have the president of the country right here, Cyril Ramaphosa, who was happy. Who was happy not so long ago that we have over 20 million people that are depending on social grants. And the ANC is taking care of the people. The ANC ministers happy that We have over 20 million people depending on the social grants. And they know that as long as we have many people depending on the social grants, they will think twice before they vote for other political parties. They will think twice before they vote for other political parties. And this is how they have actually kept themselves in power for such a long time. Destroy the economy, make the people depend on you. Create a social welfare where people depend on the state. And now, again, she's talking about the foreign direct investment. What is the point of the so-called foreign direct investment when Ramaphosa is not willing to fix the government? These people in the ANC, they are not willing to fix the government. What is the point? This thing actually reminds me of that debate about the VAT hikes. One of the reasons why I was totally against the VAT hikes is because why do you want the South Africans to pay more when you have the comrades that are willing to waste the money in the government? You have the comrades that have stolen so much money from the government and you have done nothing about that. But you want the South Africans to keep subsidizing the criminality that is happening in the government. And that's why it is a joke when they speak about the foreign direct investment. Why do you want the people to invest in a country where you guys are not willing to fix yourselves up? They have not done anything about the so-called comrades that are doing the, what is it called? When the comrades are stealing, what is it called? Irregular expenditure. Irregular expenditure is corruption. Irregular expenditure is corruption. I mean, we have just learned that Panyaza Lesotho and the Gauteng government was spending 34 million rands to hire the buildings when the government has its own buildings. They don't need to hire the buildings, but they're hiring the buildings. Use 34 million rands. And these are the people that are talking about the foreign direct investment. Make it make sense to me. How do you want, now you literally want the people to subsidize the criminality, the mismanagement, the incompetence that is there for everybody else to see. I don't have the problem with the investors coming into this country. But before they do that, the government needs to fix their own house. Ramaphosa needs to clean house. If he actually is serious about having a working economy, if he's serious about the investors coming into the country, because after all, the investors are not stupid. They can see that there is no rule of law in this country. They can see that there is no accountability in this country. The people are stealing millions and billions of rands without anybody being held accountable. The Zondo Commission, people were exposed live on national television. And some of those people are still working in the government. Some of the people that were exposed in the Zondo Commission, they are working with the president. And the investors, they know all of that. And this is the reason why maybe they are so hesitant to invest in this country. So before you guys actually speak about the so-called investments into this country, you need to clean house. You need to clean house. This is what needs to happen. And I feel like this conversation needed to happen, and I feel like it needs to happen again before 2027. It needs to happen again. And it is sad because these are things that South Africans have spoken about for a very long time. And they were never addressed. It took the President of the United States for some of these issues to actually be addressed. That's why I'm saying that if you look into this meeting, most of the issues that are discussed in this meeting, there are issues that should have been dealt with a long time ago. They should have been dealt with a long time ago. If Ramaphosa went there to the United States with a solid plan, showing the Americans that, guys, we understand that we have the people that are concerned about their safety in their country. This is what we are doing as the government. The United States wouldn't be going around. The Trump wouldn't be on social media saying what he says. Because he would know that, okay, this is what the South African government is doing. It's not like they are sitting there and actually happy about what is happening in the country. So foreign direct investments, guys, you need to clean house. You cannot expect the people to flush their own money down the toilet. Just like you cannot expect the South Africans to pay more taxes, to subsidize the incompetence, criminality, and mismanagement that is there for everybody to see. And you cannot talk about growing the economy because you people are deadly not serious about growing the economy. You cannot grow the economy when you destroyed the education sector. You cannot do that. You cannot talk about the economy when you are not improving people's lives by giving them good education. They are not giving South African children good education. This is not what they are doing. So how are they expecting to grow the economy?
We are not just talking about those that will lose employment, but we are talking about over 40% of people that are unemployed, that have no hope of ever finding a job. And we think that, correctly, as they have said, that we need to deal with the issue of porous borders in our country so that everyone that comes in is documented. We also need to, and I would have thought that the minister would address the issue of land expropriation and how the policy works in South Africa. Recently, President, as you were preparing to come here on the news, in, I think it was in Natal, there was a handover of farms. And white farmers were saying, we are donating the land, but also there's a willing buyer, willing seller in South Africa. So there is no expropriation without compensation, but it is a willing buyer, willing seller. And that white farmer was even saying, President, that the government is even paying more in buying the land than what the land is worth of. And I think those are the realities, President, that we must say that we need to address, of course, but also the importance of agriculture linked to AGOA. People rely on it, and I think, as Retief have said, for survival and living. But lastly, for me, President, is also the issue of the crime statistics. There is no doubt about it that we are a violent nation, for a number of reasons, and we're not condoning anything. But also,
why are we a violent nation? Why are we not a violent nation? Because you can say that, you can sit there or stand there rather and say that we are not condoning the violence. Of course, you are not condoning the violence with your mouth, but through the actions, you guys are condoning the violence. I'm like, you guys can actually fool some people, but you cannot fool all of us. You may not condone the violence with your mouth, but your actions are condoning the violence. We will get to that.
Also, if you go into the rural areas where black majority are, you would see women, elderly, being raped, being killed, being murdered. And these are black elderly women that would be found throat slits, raped multiple times, and all of that. And the problem in South Africa, it is not necessarily about race, but it is about crime. And we think that we are here to say, how do we, both nations, work together to reset, to really talk about investment, but also help us in how we can have the technology and everything that is needed, President, to really address the levels of crime that we have in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So in 30 years, in 30 years, it took these people 30 years to realize that we have a serious crime issue in this country. Guys, man, this is one of those videos that is absolutely hard to do, man. It's hard to do. I feel like I need to get a bit of water. Oh, guys, please, man, 2 minutes. Like, it took these people 30 years for them to go to the United States to say that, no, we need technology from you guys. You guys need to help us about these issues that are happening in the country. And you need to understand that it is not only the Afghanis that are being slaughtered that you would find with their necks cut. You know, like even the elderly black people are being slaughtered in the rural areas. These elderly people are being raped in South Africa. The thing is that you guys knew about these things for the longest of times. And what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? You knew about these issues for a very long time. What have you done? So you cannot go there to try to stop Trump and his administration from raising the issue of the Afrikaners by saying that we are also being killed too. The issue is, what have you done? What have you done? So John Steenhuisen also got his 2 minutes of fame yesterday. Hey. But what Johann Rupert did to John Steenhuisen, man, like, that was harsh, man. That was harsh. So John Steenhuisen also got his 2 minutes yesterday. And he was actually speaking about the issue of agriculture and also addressing the videos that were played, the videos of Julius Malema and the EFF chanting, "Kill the boy, kill the farmer." And okay, this is what John Steenhuisen said.
And that scene of, you see how many crosses they have. Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them. And those trucks or cars are paying their respects to all of those dead people on a Sunday morning. That's a rough thing to explain away. And the problem we have, and the way, you know, a correct and a fair media exposes things. But we have a very corrupt media. They won't even report this. If this were the other way around, it would be the biggest story. Now, I will say apartheid, terrible. That was the biggest story. That was reported all the time. And this is sort of the opposite of apartheid. What's happening now is never reported. Nobody knows about it. All we know is we're being inundated with people, with white farmers from South Africa.
Because it is not selling. The reason why even the media in this country, it is not reporting about these horrible murders that are happening to the Afrikaner community is that it is not selling. And they are condemned at every turn when they report about the Afrikaners that are being slaughtered. Because, of course, you know, in this country we have accepted that there is criminality. We have accepted that the people will be killed in this country. So when the media houses are trying, or maybe when there's a media house that is trying to report on the fact that there's an Afghaner that has been slaughtered in, maybe in this farm, the people will flock in those comment sections and bash those people for trying to make the Afghaners look special. So they are not reported because they are not selling. Do you know what is selling? Do you know what is selling? A white man actually fighting with a black man, or an Afghaner beating up a black person. That sells. That sells. But if the roles are reversed, no, it is not selling. It's not selling. And it is such a damn shame. It is such a damn shame because whether the crime is committed by the Afghaners or whether the crime is committed by black people, it should be highlighted. Both of those crimes, they should be highlighted. But in this country, only one is highlighted. Both of them, they should be highlighted. But only one is highlighted. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame, man. You know, if we lived in a sane country, maybe every time when we watch the news, they would actually maybe put a box at the corner there showing the number of people that have been killed today and tomorrow, or maybe throughout the year, showing the number of people that have been killed. Thousands and thousands of people are being slaughtered in this country, man. Thousands. We are even competing with the countries that are at war. This is how bad the situation has actually gotten in this country. This is how bad things have gotten in this country. We are competing with the countries that are at war. And there is no war in this country. But so many people are dying that we are competing with the people that are bombing each other up.
And it's a big problem. Marco Rubio was telling me he's never seen anything like it. the numbers of people that want to leave South Africa because they feel they're going to be dead very soon. Yes,
I was
please.
going to say,
Brian, go.
if I could just ask you a question. 72% of farmers in your country are white. If they flee, do you feel that maybe the economy could collapse? You may not have a gap to fill in those people that need to replace those farmers.
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white.
I mean, like, oh my goodness. I mean, Ramaphosa did exactly what people thought he would do, man. You know, when it was announced that he would be taking John Steenhuisen to the meeting in the White House, some people said that, no, Donald Trump is going to use John Steenhuisen as a prop. And me being so optimistic, you know, guys, I'm very optimistic about life. Me being so optimistic, I said, no, there's no such thing, man. There's no such thing. But Ramaphosa is there and telling Trump that I have the Minister of Agriculture and I want you to hear from him. And he's white, by the way. He's white, by the way. So it actually looks like not Donald Trump. It actually looks like Ramaphosa was using John Steenhuisen as a prop to say that I have a white Minister of Agriculture. I mean, like, it's not like those people cannot see that John Steenhuisen is white, but was it necessary for you to actually point out that he's white, knowing that when you give him the stage to speak, the cameras are going to be on him and everybody is going to see that he's white? But you saying that he's white, by the way, that was crazy, man. That was crazy, man. It was crazy. And it feels like, man, he was using him as a prop, man. It feels like he was using him to say that, Donald Trump, you see, we also work with white people. We also work with white people, man. You know that saying that even some of my best friends are black, or I love white people so much that some of my best friends are white. It seems like in that moment, yeah. And I found it very cringe, man. It was cringe-worthy to watch. I don't want to lie.
You may not have a gap to fill in those people that need to replace those farmers.
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white, who comes from an opposition party to mine, who's joined my government at my invitation to address this very issue, including the question that you've just raised. John?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us to the White House. I would say we have a rural safety problem in South Africa. I don't think anyone wants to candy coat that. And it requires a lot of effort to get on top of it. It's going to require more policing resources. It's going to require a different strategy to be able to deal with it. But certainly the majority of South Africa's commercial and smallholder farmers really do want to stay in South Africa and make it work. And I've just come from the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere with organized agriculture and farmers, and the majority of them want to stay. But they too there have a memorial to those who've died as a result of farm attacks. And as the Minister of Agriculture, it is something that I'm particularly exercised with my colleagues at police and my colleagues in the justice cluster to start making farm attacks and stock theft a priority crime. And it affects all farmers in South Africa, particularly stock theft. It has a disproportionate effect on smallholder black farmers. I also want to just say this, that the two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa. Umkhonto weSizwe under Mr. Zuma and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions.
But the only criticism for that is that, of course, yesterday many people were actually making a lot of noise saying that John Steenhuisen went to the White House and told the American media that he joined the ANC in the GNU to keep the black political parties out. John Steenhuisen is such a racist. for actually working so hard to keep the black political parties out. But truth of the matter is that this is something that the DA has said, even way before the elections, that we cannot afford to have the MK party and the EFF in the mix. We cannot afford to have the EFF and the MK party in the government of national unity. And we will join the ANC in the government of national unity to ensure that the EFF and the MK party are out. But here's the kicker. The ANC still implemented radical political policies that they would have implemented with the blessings of the MK party and the EFF. Cyril Ramaphosa, sitting there, he has actually signed into law 3 policies. The Expropriation Amendment, the Expropriation Act, the Bella Bill, and the NHI. And these are policies that the DA supporters, they hate with all their hearts. As much as you say that we have actually joined the ANC in the GNU to keep these political parties out, the truth is that the ANC did what they would have done with the help or the blessings of the EFF and the MK party, with the DA inside. It is a mess, man. Because the ANC was never supposed to implement those policies. Ramaphosa was never supposed to sign those into law. But they said, no, these are the policies that were actually passed in parliament in the previous administration, forgetting that the GNU, it is not the extension of the 6th administration. So as much as we appreciate the DA being in the government of national unity to keep the MK party and the EFF out, truth of the matter is that the ANC continues with their radical policies and the DA is there. That is the truth. That is the truth. Because you can bet that even if the DA was not part of the government of national unity and the EFF and Umkhonto weSizwe were part of the government of national unity, these are the policies that would have been signed into law. These are the policies that would have been signed into law. The only difference is that the DA is against it, but there's absolutely nothing they've done to stop the ANC from doing that. And the other political parties would have helped the ANC to put those laws into action.
And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government. Because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our Parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union buildings, because then South Africa's future would be...
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh yes, we've always done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that.
I mean, guys, can somebody please show me a video where Ramaphosa actually denounces kill the bull, kill the farm? Is there any footage of Ramaphosa denouncing kill the bull, kill the farm? Is there any footage of that? Can somebody please show me? Maybe I am not aware, and it is okay. Maybe I am totally not aware of this footage where Ramaphosa denounces kill the bull, kill the farm. I haven't seen it, man. I haven't seen it.
We, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers.
And Ramaphosa is looking Donald Trump in the eye and not telling him that this is protected under free speech by the Constitutional Court. Because he understands how insane it would sound to the rest of the world that, no, is this what the South African courts are doing? Why is it not telling Donald Trump that this is protected under free speech by the courts in this country? It's because he understands that it would actually make South Africa to look even worse than it is right now. He knows it is wrong. They know it is wrong. They know, kill the bull, kill the farmer, it is wrong. And for him to say that he has denounced it, oh my goodness, it is a lie.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying, kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw an empty seat. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And you take a look at Australia, they're being inundated, and we're being inundated with people that want to get out. And their farm is valueless. It's valueless. And they just want to get out with their life. And this is a very serious situation. And if we had a real news or real press or media, we don't have that because they won't talk about this because they're all guys like that idiot. But if we had a real press, it would be exposed. And you know, the beauty of exposing it is it's like a cleansing action. When it gets exposed, it'll get fixed. That's when it'll get fixed.
So it was quite interesting to watch even that back and forth or that clip of John Steenhuisen. But then, guys, let's be honest, man. Ha! The star of the show was Johann Rupert. The star of the show was Mr. Rupert. Mr. Rupert, give me a call. The star of the show was Johann Rupert. And the Rupert phobia that is happening in this country, I think it needs to be toned down. Because when you look at the number of people that are willing to go on social media to insult Johann Rupert, to threaten Johann Rupert, that number is quite scary. And right here, you are talking about someone who has provided a lot of jobs for South Africans. This guy has done much more than politicians can even think of. But today, in this country, you have a situation where the people would actually defend the politicians by attacking Johann Rupert. The politicians that are stealing from the people, the politicians that are boasting about their wealth to the majority of the people in this country who happen to be poor, the politicians that are not even providing the services to the people, denying them the dignity, and actually are taking someone who has actually done a lot for black people in this country. And this will actually show you how demented we are as a country. It would actually show you that the people that are still willing to do the business in this country are being insulted to defend the politicians that cannot even clean up illegal dumpings at the corners. It is sad, man. It is sad. So I feel like a person who was actually blunt was Mr. Rupert, and he actually raised important points. So before we get to that, let's listen to what Mr. Rupert said.
Johann, please.
Sorry, Mr. President, if you had to wind all of those tapes properly, you will see I'm the biggest target of that rabble-rouser. Number one for over 10 years, Mr. Malema. In fact, the first time I met him, he was in the youth league with that gentleman, and look how he's changed.
Right.
We have too many deaths.
And apparently, according to the people on social media, Johann Rupert basically insulted Ronald Lamola to say that Ronald Lamola was in the youth league with Julius Malema and look at how he turned out. Apparently, that was an insult, according to the people in this country. That someone going from the youth league, radical youth league, and turning out to be the Minister of International Relations, and actually being applauded for that, it is an insult. It is an insult. This is what people were saying.
He was in the youth league with that gentleman, and look how he's changed.
Right.
We have too many deaths, but it's across the board. It's not only white farmers, it's across the board. And we need technological help. We need Starlink at every little police station. We need drones. I actually got drones donated for the peace parks to stop elephant and rhino poaching. And his predecessor stopped the importation because he said the United States would spy on us. I mean, US basics, the ridicule. So if you can help us. Remember, sir, you and I lived in New York in the 70s. We never thought New York could be what it became. 2 commissioners, a tough mayor. We need your help to stop this awful killing. But it's across the board. Ernie's right now building a house in George. I'm building 3 cottages for my grandchildren on a farm outside Graaff-Reinet. I often go to bed without locking the door. And we have a serious problem with illegal aliens.
We have a serious problem with the illegal immigrants. We have a serious problem with illegal immigrants. This is what Mr. Rupert is saying. And this is something that has been raised a lot of times, but it wasn't dealt with. It wasn't dealt with. Because these illegal immigrants that are getting into the country and committing heinous crimes, it is the doing of the ANC. It is the doing of a political party of this man that is sitting next to Donald Trump. That is the doing of the ANC. And what have they done to address this issue of the illegal foreigners that are getting into this country in numbers, abusing the resources that are paid for by hardworking South Africans, committing heinous crimes, selling drugs, and abducting children? What have they done? What is that the ANC has done about this thing that the people have complained about for such a long time? I mean, at this point, this illegal immigration issue has gotten out of control. That the illegal immigrants are hijacking the buildings in the middle of the cities in this country. The illegal immigrants, they are hijacking the buildings in the middle of the cities. What is it that they have done about these issues? Because I hate the fact that these issues are being raised in the White House. And I hate the fact that they are trying to look like we are resolving these issues or we're going to work on these issues, whereas they know that these issues have been there for such a long time. And what is it that actually stopped them from dealing with these issues? Because it would be a huge disrespect on us for these people to say that, no, we're going to deal with these issues. You know, right now in the White House, they told us our ears are full. We need to deal with these issues. But what have they done? What have they done? That's why I'm saying that this was a necessary conversation. This was not an ambush on the ANC, on the delegation of President Ramaphosa, but it was a necessary meeting that needed to happen so that maybe people that are on the high pedestal as them can basically tell them what they've been doing wrong. Because when it comes to listening to the people of this country, this is what they have totally failed to do. They have failed to listen to the people of this country when they tell them about these issues that they are dealing with. It was not an ambush. Please do not say that Ramaphosa was ambushed in the White House. He was not ambushed. He was not humiliated. He was not embarrassed. He was forced to look into the issues that he has ignored for such a long time.
Stream across the border. And if you really look at our statistics, a lot of these murders, firstly it's unemployment and illegal aliens. And then I met Vice President Vance many years ago, the Charlie Rose show. My wife loved the book. And she reminded me this morning that you emphasized the devastation that occurs when big companies leave towns and cities, and there's a culture of dependency that develops. And I remember you discussing it. Now that's our problem. If we don't get our economy to grow, the culture of dependency and the lawlessness will increase. I've been against apartheid all my life, and I'm their number one target. Please just Google my name and Malema. You'll see it, sir. He marched on the
But
farm.
the crime is bad.
The crime is terrible, sir, but Mr. Steenhuisen won't admit to it, but he runs the Western Cape, where I live. And the biggest murder rate is in the Cape Flats. Gangs.
Man, that was brutal. That was brutal. That was brutal, man. He did not only throw John Steenhuisen under the bus, man. He basically, I don't know how to put it, man. I want a graphic way to put it, man. He basically tied John Steenhuisen's hands under the bus and told the driver to speed 100 kilometers per hour, man, while John Steenhuisen was under the bus, man, getting smashed by the man. I don't know, guys, I'm trying to look for a graphic way to put it, man. That was not him throwing John Steenhuisen under the bus. That was actually putting him on the train. Oh my goodness. That was harsh, man. That was so harsh. Jeez.
We've got gang warfare, like your M33, whatever these guys. We've got equivalents there, but we need your help, sir. And we need Elon technology.
Well, one of the real areas of support is really in investments. We've got to grow our economy, because through growing the economy, we're then able to create more jobs. Because crime really thrives where there is inequality and unemployment.
I mean, like, you guys should have thought about that, man, a long time ago. Like, you guys should have thought about that a long time ago. You guys should have thought about that a long time ago. And guys, this is what I think about this meeting, man, between the two presidents. I think it was a necessary conversation. And I don't know if there's anything that the ANC has learned. I hope that they did learn, and maybe they would actually take into consideration what was said in that meeting. And maybe they will see that trying to be nonchalant about the issues that are facing other people does not make it okay. And they need to deal with the issues in the government first before they start to talk about the investments and what so forth. I felt like this meeting went well. I feel like it went well, man. I don't feel like it was a mess. I feel like it went well. It was a conversation that actually needed to happen. Guys, I don't know, man. Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.